I got it. I got it.
And my name is Sheila Weaver. I am so excited to see everybody today for our final session here at the Idaho Caregiver Alliance's Trauma-Informed Parenting Training Session for Kinship Caregivers. That's just been such a wonderful experience throughout this time, and we are really happy to see this wrap up today and think about what our next steps are. And so, with that, I will go ahead. And I'm just really happy to introduce Michelle Bass. She's a licensed clinical social worker and she's been hosting this series. So, Michelle, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Uh, it has been, for me, it's been a lot of fun getting to know kinship providers across the state of Idaho, hearing, stories and strengths, needs, all the things. It's been a journey for sure. So today is going to be a little bit different, but if you missed any of the sessions, do not fret because it's going to be basically a review and an apply. So uh, we can go ahead and get started with introductions. So wanting to know um, who you are, where you're from, age of children in your care, or a little bit about like maybe who you were taking care of. And then I do have an icebreaker, but let's start with that first. Um, if you want, we can turn the recording off or we can keep it on. It's totally up to you. Do you have a preference? Okay. So we'll go ahead and leave it on then. Okay, so who are you? Where are you from? And the age of children in your care? Nancy, you're on mute. It's not a meeting without someone saying that at least once.
Ok. Yo soy Nancy. I am Nancy. I am from Mexico, living in Meridian. I had two handsome boys with special needs, and it's so heavy.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot, so a lot. Yesterday I went to YMCA and later Winco, and when came home I was trembling
Ah,
because I was exhausted and care to people with different um, needs
mm-hmm.
is a challenger. And my kids come home very, very happy, very happy. And how can I say, I tell my husband, how can I be angry with them or say, quiet, I need time because they are
Mm-hmm.
happy, they are enjoying it, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully today's training, we're going to go over a lot of things and we want to hear from you so that we can problem solve and come up with some things that you can take with you today to hopefully make things a little bit easier for you. So thank you for sharing.
And for today, I want to be a lazy day and eat barbacoa tacos.
I love that for you.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, how about Charlie?
Okay, first up, Nancy, have you hooked up with the Hispanic Cultural Center in Nampa? They have a kinship Hispanic kinship group that meets over there, and I think that that might be helpful. Sheila, can you send
We'll get
contact
you connected.
information
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Nancy because
Yeah.
I think Mary could really help her.
Yeah. Do that. No problem.
Okay,
Okay.
now that I'm out of my resource coordinator role.
Oh, you're going to come back into it because we're going to be talking about resources in just a minute. You just went ahead a little bit before. So go
Okay,
ahead.
so my name is Charlie. In 2001, I took in a great niece and nephew. We did foster care for years. Now I have a 4-year-old that's attached to my hip, great granddaughter. And so we just probably are never going to get out of the caregiver role. and she just came in the camp trailer. So
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll
you,
say hi.
you might see her pop up on screen. Her name is Vanessa.
Nice. Thanks, Charlie. Sheila, I don't know if you introduced yourself.
I will reintroduce myself just in case, but my name is Sheila Weaver. I am the program manager. I'm a program manager within the Idaho Caregiver Alliance, and we are just really honored to be a part of this series and can't wait to hear from Kinship Caregivers.
Yay. So the icebreaker for today is what are resources you have utilized or heard of in your community? And so, you know, being that we all live pretty close to each other, if you have resources that are in other parts of the state for folks that maybe are listening from other parts of the state, let's go ahead and think that way as well. So across the state of Idaho, what are some ones that come up for you that could be resources that you're currently using or that you've heard are really good for kinship families? Just to share the love. And we'll just do that for just a couple minutes.
Well, I think the one I think about a lot is the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare has their kinship navigation program through 211. That's a fantastic resource. And then this isn't really a resource, but I want to talk more about it down the line. The Idaho Caregiver Alliance is in the middle of starting a kinship state plan, which will be, I hope, will become a cool resource for kinship caregivers, but much more to come on that.
That's going to be later in today's session, actually.
Yes.
So stay tuned. That's exciting. How about you, Charlie?
I think there's a lot of them. There's in southeastern Idaho, there's a place called the Village that provides clothing and support for kinship families. They're now starting a kinship support group in their office there. Idaho Falls, I'm sorry, Twin Falls has, oh, I just drew a blank on her name. I'll pull it up, but there's a small group in Twin Falls, Northern Idaho. Yeah, and Relatives as Parents Inc. is up there. Jessica's up there. That's a great resource for families in that area. There's resources are starting now to be supported on the Shoban Reservation in Pocatello and in northern Idaho up around Coeur d'Alene. There's also a really active group for supporting the Native Americans. And I can send, if you don't have all of those, Sheila, I can send you some contact information on those. And
Okay.
in our area in Boise, for the love of kinship, but there's also the wardrobe. There's also Faith Love Foster. And Thousand Hills in Emmett. I mean, there's a number of resources in our area to to bring them in and support kinship families. And while I'm off of mute, my great granddaughter wants to know what's the puppy's name.
Well, she's going to have to name him or her.
Oh, okay, I'll let her know. But
Okay.
she knows the name of every dog in the campground. Doesn't know the owners, but she knows the dogs'
I
names.
love that.
No, I get that. I get that. I always say hi to your dog for me. You know, like I need that sticker on the back of my car.
Tell your dog
I
I said hi. Yeah.
For resources, I would say for me is and I'll talk, share it again later, but I the Resilient Parenting Podcast is a great free resource across the state of Idaho for different topics. You can listen, there's like 20 minutes. We have different experts. We've had both Sheila and Charlie on as special guests talking about different things, all things kinship. So I would definitely say that that is a resource, and it's through Idaho Children's Trust Fund, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. So that is another resource that could be helpful. And Nancy, do you have any resources that you've used or that you would recommend? No pressure. I
Yeah,
just want to.
Idaho Parents Unlimited.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
very good resource. At this moment, I don't remember more.
No, Idaho Parents Unlimited. I actually did a training for them just a couple weeks ago. So So that's wonderful. Yeah, definitely a good resource. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So thank y'all. It's been a journey. The first training was February 21st. So I just wanted to show these are some of the topics that we talked about, and the recording is available if you missed any of these, that you could go back and you could watch it again. Today is open forum, and what I'd like to do is we're going to put it all together. So that means let's recap and let's apply our our learnings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a little quick review. For some of you, it might be new information if you haven't looked, but for some of you, it's going to be review. And I want you to think of your own situation, okay? And think how you can apply it in your own life situation, okay? And if you don't have a current life situation that you can apply it to, think about someone else or something you've heard. Okay, so let's go. So really quick, the brain structure, we talked about how the brain works. It has the prefrontal cortex, the limbic system, and the brainstem. The brainstem is where we have that automatic functions like the heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature. That's where you see a stick that looks like a snake and you go, that's that immediate reaction. That might just be me, but my whole body will start to sweat. My blood pressure definitely rises. My heart is going a mile a minute. And it's because it goes right into that immediate. Limbic system is that fight or flight. That's the emotional regulation. Okay. And I'm gonna show you a cool trick that you can take with you wherever you go. And then the prefrontal cortex is that, like factual memory, planning, ability, like empathy, insight, connection, impulse control. Another way to look at this is with your hands. So put your hand out, put your thumb like this. Okay, so this right here, can everybody see me? This is that lower part, the downstairs brain. This is the reptilian part. This is the automatic brainstem. Okay, so like the blood pressure, the heart rate, all that. Here is the emotional part of the brain. This is the limbic system, also where Amy the amygdala hangs out, who checks for danger all the time. And then above here is the frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex, and and your brain develops from the bottom up. Okay, this is more complex. And when you're calm, it goes like this, and it's in charge. So right now, my frontal cortex is in charge. Okay, but when I am not, like when I see the snake, because I have a fear of snakes, my frontal cortex goes like this. In TBRI, which is trust-based relational intervention, we call this flipping your lid. You're controlled, you're calm, and then you flip. What happens is your thinking, calm, regulated part of your brain goes offline, and the limbic system is now in charge by design, because if you were in real threat, you would need to either fight, flight, run away, or freeze, play dead, or whatnot. So it's important to understand this, because then as we go along, you're going to be able to start to go, oh, that's what's happening. And then we can do things proactively to calm your brain to be able to do that. Any questions about this, the brain in your hand? Okay. So let's look at another thing that we talked about, which is the zones of regulation. This is used a lot in schools. So again, you see on the left there, where's your brain? Thinking brain, upstairs brain, ready to learn. Again, that's your brain is calm. Yellow zone is where you're not completely flipped, but you're getting ready to. And then feeling brain, you're in the downstairs part of your brain. You're flipped. This is where if you're like really upset, it's hard to find your words. You get so like you might actually like yell or throw something or just feel so overwhelmed you just want to shut down and like go hide under your covers. Okay. So there are things that we can do for our kids and for ourselves to help us. So we have different zones. So we'll start with the green zone. Green zone looks like this. Okay. Happy, focused, calm, proud. Yellow zone, that's like the warning. You can tell, you can notice it in your body if you pay attention that, oh, I'm starting to get a little agitated. I'm starting to like be a little shorter with people, or I'm like yelling when I'm driving or whatnot. Um, the thing is you still have access to your thinking, but it's like you're you better do something or you're gonna whoop, flip your lid. Flip your lid. So yellow is also worried, frustrated, silly, excited. Okay, so red zone, that's when you flip your lid. You are angry, terrified, panicked, or you can be overjoyed. And have you ever had it where the kids are bouncing off the walls and it's like, woohoo, they're not upset, but they're like everywhere, but they need to be calm. That would still be in the red zone because they've lost control of they're not calm. They're not, they're overstimulated. Then you have blue zone. Blue zone can look like, sad, bored, tired. So that's one way to look at it. Usually around, I mentioned like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I hit my blue zone where I just feel like I hit a wall, where I'm just tired. Some people are like that in the morning. It just depends. Blue zone can also be after flipping your lid, or if you have too much going on, you get overwhelmed and you shut down. And it sounds like, Nancy, like when you came home, you were so exhausted and all that, that you might have been at that time in the blue zone. Okay, so another way to look at it is with the engine plate. And this was a tool that I introduced during the training. Um, the engine plate, we used the Winnie the Pooh characters, but you can also use other characters. The Inside Out characters are a great resource. But looking and being able to practice with your kids where their engine is at that time. Think of a car engine. And then depending on where they feel like their energy is or your energy is, then you can do something about it. So this little arrow will move depending on what you're feeling. And it's a way to normalize that our engines change throughout the day. I guarantee you I'm in one of these at different times, and that's okay. The problem comes when you get stuck in one more than the other a lot. Like if you're in yellow a lot, you're going to, and we're going to talk more about how this impacts the rest of your body, but you're going to end up being more reactive than you want to be because you are anticipating the next thing that's going to happen. And so you're just like, I say like you're vibrating, you're ready to like at any moment flip. Any questions about this? Because we're getting ready to apply the learning.
No, but I want the model for that particular engine plate. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so I could definitely do that. This is actually my engine plate. I have it in my office. We could totally you can make these. It's super easy to make. And I suggest when I work with families, I actually have little to-go bags and they with all the things that they need, and then they make them at home together as a family. Okay, so let's put it together. So think of a scenario or think of something recently that you can apply. How can you utilize what you know about the brain, the zones of regulation, and the engine plate in your situation? So I'll start by saying one of the things about the engine plate is it's a tool. So being proactive. So checking your engine, saying, hey, everyone, let's check our engines. And then if let's say everyone is in the yellow or yellow red, or, you can be like, let's all push on a wall. Let's all get a drink of water to calm ourselves, because this is only one part of the tool. The other part is then you have little different interventions that you can do to either calm your energy or bring your energy up. So if you're in the blue, for instance, I have crunchy food, I have sour, I have gum. Um, if I'm, which putting a little water on my face. There's different things I can do to kind of bring my energy up. If I'm needing to bring my energy down, I can tell now, and I will go for a walk. Depending on the time, I either go for my short walk or my long walk. Those are just a couple things. And I encourage families to do this together so you can normalize it. If you're feeling like you're going into the yellow or red, you can say, I just checked my engine and I need this. Who would like to go with me? Is kind of the idea. So what are some things that you guys, knowing what you know, and I can go back to any of the slides if you need reference. What do you think you could do?
I'm someone that likes taking a walk or something, or just kind of getting out of the area for a little while can be really helpful for me.
Uh-huh.
Also too, I like the little like calm.com, like those where you can just take a minute and like just kind of look at something for a minute, just kind of get your eyes off
Hmm.
of something, I think can kind of change the mood sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Mhm.
like to walk away and mutter under my breath, talk about the situation. Um, and you definitely need to walk away because you don't want to hear what I'm saying. But I
Yes.
find that because I'm a talker, I find that going off by myself and talking through the situation helps. I also will go for a walk, but I
Hmm.
have to stomp my feet when I walk. It's not just a walk. It's like get that energy out. Um,
Uh-huh.
and at the house, I slam a cupboard door. Just one time, just slam the door, and for whatever reason, that like transfers that energy. But it
Okay.
works for me.
It works for you. All right.
Mm, for me, what is work is kickboxing.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Perfect.
found I found when I shoot, I feeling very great.
and what you're talking about is getting that energy out of your body, just like how Charlie like slams the cupboard. You're doing it, kicking, kickboxing.
Yes,
What is how about with the kids? What is something we can do with the kids?
walk.
Walk?
We went to the river and walked 3 miles or four sometimes, and I was exhausted, but they are very happy.
Perfect.
And
So one of the things that you're saying, Nancy, with the river and the nature is nature actually being by the water and being around nature can actually help calm the nervous system and
Mm.
actually can give you some of those good hormones that can help relieve the stress. So when you're in those moments, I would encourage you specifically to take those deep breaths, to notice, to just calm your all your senses. But yeah, beautiful.
And my kids are very happy with the ladies in the river who dress a bikini. Yeah, I
Oh,
surprised
nice.
my kids. Oh, what are you looking? And they look at me and they smile. I see what you see.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess that's nature too.
Yes.
Yeah, with Vanessa, we can usually put music on, and she has rhythm, and so she dances. Um, you know, and that usually will put her in a better mood to calm her down. Because generally when she's so happy all the time, but it still builds up that energy. And so we have to really start with a bedtime routine to get her energy level down where she can actually go to sleep at night. And
Mhm.
and so we do watch a show, and then we do the talking and stuff at bedtime after she's in bed and her body is down. And that just pulls her down. And then she'll be talking 1 minute and sound asleep the next. So we know when we've hit that sweet spot.
Nice, nice. Okay, so keep all of those ideas because we're going to build now on what we know about the brain, and we're going to move to the stress response. So the stress response, remember when I was talking about the brain and how it flips? Okay, well, the stress response, that basically is what that is. Okay, so you see a stimuli. Sometimes it's something you see, usually it is something you see, maybe it's a scent. The brain is constantly looking for threat. The brain's number one goal is to keep you alive and keep you safe. So it has a negative bias. It's always looking for something that could go wrong. Okay. We want it to do that to a certain extent. Sometimes it's a little overactive though. So you see something, your body immediately, we're talking like microseconds, okay? And you flip before your brain can even decipher. It's faster than this part of your brain is faster than the top part of your brain, okay? By design, it doesn't want you taking a lot of time thinking about it, okay? It wants you to immediately be ready to fight. Okay, your body will stay activated until it sees that there is no threat. So it's like if you almost get hit by a car or you almost rear end someone is a good example. You immediately would be like, ugh. And until you realize I'm okay, what just happened, like it takes a minute, right, for your brain to start working again. And then, like, okay, everything's fine. Oh, that was a close one. But guess what? After that, every little movement, you're like, right? You're like anticipating it because now you're on alert, like ready for it. But the body eventually will return back. Um, So the problem with many of the kids we work with or in different situations is, and maybe with our own upbringing, is that this has been used a lot more than it was intended for. So it was intended, like, I don't know, maybe a couple times a month if you see a bear when you're out getting berries or wood for the fire, you would be activated and you'd go back to normal, it'd be fine. But if you are experiencing like a toxic situation, different traumas, different things like that, stress, your body goes into the stress response repeatedly, repeatedly, repeatedly. And if you look at the picture of the brain on the right, that's that lower part I was telling you about. You see how it's all activated? That it's just like any muscle that you work on. The more that you work on it, the stronger it gets. And you can see in this picture that it is like super activated. And that's what ends up happening for a lot of ourselves and for the kids that we're caring for, is that they go into the stress response like as their first choice. Think of it like the super highway versus a path that you have to kind of like make your own. It's like they've used it so much that it's just right there. Okay. And we all know people that are like that can do that. I want to explain it in a different way now as well, which is the window of tolerance. I want you to think about the window of tolerance as we all have a window. My window, I'm trying to make it a rectangle. Okay. The window is basically how much stress you can handle in a day. So, depending on the situation, so lots of impacts, lots of things can impact it. So, if I slept well, I may wake up more refreshed. So, my window will be bigger. But let's say I don't sleep well, or I had nightmares, or I'm not feeling well. My window, you just know you're just not working with like you're not 100%. You're just not feeling as good. So your window's going to be smaller. Um, the window is what keeps you from here to here. Okay, think of it that way. So, there can be other stressors. Let's say you're worried about things, or you have financial issues, or you have other stressors in your life that you're thinking about. They're not necessarily happening, but you're thinking about. That's going to lower your threshold. There's things though that can make it better too, like making sure you don't skip breakfast, making sure you drink water, you get activity, you get connection with folks. That can also bring your window back in. So part of your job is looking at where you're at in your window. So just for a second, I'm just curious. Like if you were to think just today, like where would you be in your window? And I want to just say for the record that none of us start at zero. So when you're like, they went from 0 to 100 like that, that's not actually accurate. Depending on where they started, they might have started at 30. And then over time, little things happen. Like they didn't eat breakfast, they didn't sleep well, then they couldn't find their keys, then they were late. You see how quickly it can shrink? So think right now, like how your morning's been, and where do you think you are in your window? You don't have to give a number or anything. You don't have to share it necessarily, but just notice like where you probably are realistically.
I I'm honestly in a really good window, probably the middle of my window of tolerance. I had a great morning. I got up. I had coffee with my granddaughter.
Uh-huh.
The great granddaughter got up. She helped me clean the bathrooms. It's just been a really good morning, and so my tolerance is probably
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I would say it maybe even you even have a little more cushion than that you're saying. You're also out in nature, right? Don't you have like you're outside and that already is gonna give you a little more buffer. You're with your granddaughter, a little more buffer, which may be exhausting maybe at times, but it's a good exhaust. Okay. So just thinking about that. How about you, Nancy?
I am a little window now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I have many things to do, and I
yes.
am alone, and my energy is very low.
Okay.
So
Okay. And that's important to know. That's important to know. But here's the good news. There are things that you can do, and we can do some things today together to give you a little more cushion. Because there are things. I saw that you were drinking your water. Keep doing that. Have you had you have your snack?
yes,
Okay. Okay. Um, we will do more things, but noticing it is like the first step. We have to be aware of what we're working with. And a lot of times we go through life and through difficulty, kind of pushing through and not and being disconnected from it. And then we end up either reacting in a way that we don't want to or running on fumes. And so this is a really proactive way for you to take care of yourself, but also notice like where your kids' energy is. So where your kids' windows are, because we all have windows and noticing like maybe your kid doesn't like a lot of sound and it makes him extra, you notice his energy's like a little more uptight or higher energy around certain situations. Like it's also a tool that you can use with your kids. So what do
yeah,
you think when you think about the kids and
um,
their windows?
yeah. My little one is a big window. He have a big window,
Okay.
and my older boy have a little window, I think, because he all time is worried for everything and talk a lot. And you know the demon, the Tasmania demon,
Mm-mm.
the cartoon,
Which cartoon?
uh, Tasmania.
Oh,
I
yes,
don't think
yes.
so. Oh, do you? Okay, good.
Yes,
I'm glad someone does.
Yeah,
from Looney Tunes, the Tasmanian Devil.
yeah,
He's like,
exactly, exactly.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
oh no. Okay, okay. Well, it's good to know what we're working with. It's good to know what we're working with. How old are your boys?
19 and 17.
Okay, so teenagers. Okay. All right. All right. So, so keeping in mind like their windows and noticing where their window is, and then also noticing with you where your window is, as caregivers, we have to be really aware of our windows because if our window is too small, we're going to be in a place where we can't help their windows because we're like in survival ourselves.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be really important as we're going along for you to like look at the different things that you can do to help your window to help their window. Um, and I love like how Charlie had shared that there's some different support groups. That's one of the best ways. We'll talk more about that later, but to I heard you say that you're alone and to be able to find other folks that are doing the hard work, loving your kids, but also like feeling feeling strange, getting out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Even I tell them, leave me alone, even in the bathroom. Oh, let me
Yes.
alone in the bathroom, please.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So we'll definitely there'll be more, but there's resources out there that can provide you additional support um, um, in the community.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's put this together. Think of a scenario and apply the learning based on what you know about the stress response and the window of tolerance. So one thing that we talked a little bit about, but what are some things that you can do to help put more cushion in your window? What's the first thing you have to do first, though?
Mm, eat
First
well.
off, I have to regulate me.
Yeah, yeah, you have to notice.
Yeah.
You have to check your window.
I think eat well or take vitamins.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because when I have anxiety, I don't want to eat,
Mm,
and these don't help. And I take vitamins to supplements or take the
yeah,
energy I need.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. What we consume is very important to our physical and mental health. Absolutely.
Yes.
If you were to take the window of tolerance and then go back one other step and think about the zones of regulation and the engine plate, do you see how they're all connected?
Mhm.
If you're checking your window, well, let me go back. If you're checking your engine plate and you're in yellow, where do you think your window of tolerance would be? Yeah, that's a that's a really good clue. Like, I better do something. So, one of the things that here's something else to think about. So, and what you mentioned with the vitamins is a good one. Proactive. What are proactive things that you can do to just give yourself extra cushion? So even if you're in a good place, what are some things you can do to stay in that good place?
Did I eat? Did I drink? Is the temperature correct?
Yeah.
Well, I think I can think.
You're okay. You're okay. I check my engine quite often. I'm getting so good because I do it so often that I can tell, I notice, like I'll do a body scan. So I'll just notice because a lot of times anxiety, stress will show up like in my stomach or will show up in my
Mhm.
chest and it'll feel really heavy or my neck starts to get really tight. Or I'm starting to get a headache. Like it's those kinds of like the body also is telling us, hey, we need you to do something here. So like being able to do a just every now and then go, huh, wonder like how my body's doing. Instead of just pushing through, pushing through, pushing through. Pause. Be curious. Okay. Hmm. A deep breath. Have you ever had it where all of a sudden you take a deep breath or you sigh and you didn't do it on purpose? You're
When I remember, yes.
well, sometimes my body will do it without me even noticing. It'll just all of a sudden it'll just be like, because I'm holding my breath, didn't realize it, or I am so worked up that my body's like, yeah, we're going to do it for you then. And it will, we're all doing things throughout the day without even realizing it that are helping us stay regulated because our body wants us to stay more like this.
Mhm. Okay.
So, exercise, movement, it doesn't have to be a full on. I know you do kickboxing, but say it's a day where you're not, getting out, walking. I walk throughout the day, even if it's just around the house or around the where I work, just to get some movement, shake it off, deep breaths, just different things to help. Make sure like I have like my protein drink, I have
Mhm.
my water, I have my fidget rings that I can play with. What
Mm.
else? What else? Can you guys think of any other things that you guys use that you don't even realize you're using?
I like I have a little massage machine
Okay.
and on my neck, and I like I have a garden. I love
Yes.
flowers, and I try
Yes.
to care my flowers and birds. I love
Yes.
the birds,
Yes.
so I try to take
Okay.
time take time for this.
Yeah,
Okay.
huge.
That's beautiful. So later we're gonna talk more about the importance of self-care. And you already named a few of them, so I want you to keep those in the back of your mind as we're working on staying regulated for ourselves. And then also what helps our kids stay regulated? What are some things that they like that keep them more in the calm green zone?
We are trying to eat more healthy, less more natural. So I start cooking. I start cooking corn
Mm,
bread
mm-hmm.
cake. It's so yummy, so yummy. I see that video. It's so yummy, soft, and natural. So
So
I
you
try to
said
do.
natural, healthy, and yummy at the same time.
Love
Sign
it.
me up. Sign me up. I need the recipe.
Of course, of course. Yeah,
Anyone else? Okay.
and I make my own jam. In
Okay.
Mexico, we put jam on ice. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, and ice and It's some special, and when you eat cold and jammy. So I make my own jam with nuts and ice, and it's so delicious and fresh. So I start to make some inventions.
Yeah.
I feeling the I feeling same the locals scientific with all the hair up.
Oh, like Einstein? Einstein?
uh, Einstein, yes. And when I am cook and is working well, I say,
That's
You're
awesome.
bringing us things which is fun, fun and being creative and all that. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right, you guys. So we're gonna shift a little bit and we're going to talk about um key role shifts. This is, like when we're thinking about kinship providers, there's a lot of role shifts that happen. Um, we talked about how you become the primary caregiver, decision making. Uh, Suddenly you're responsible for the discipline and supervision, where before maybe you just got to see him occasionally and spoil him and then let him go back. um, Defining relationship, navigating family dynamics. There's so much. We had a whole training on this with these shifts. We also talked about healthy attachment and how it happens. So, there's a need with a baby, it's hungry, so then it cries. The caregiver meets the need, which builds trust, and the baby recognizes then adults are okay, and then the cycle continues. Um, and so one of the things we discussed during this particular session was that not all of the kids that are in our care or that we're working with have had consistent healthy attachment. And so there may be some deficits. Even us as caregivers, we as children maybe did not get the healthy attachment cycle. Maybe sometimes when we cried, no one came. Or maybe sometimes when they came, they were scary. And so, and that has impacts. Um, so recognizing first even how attachment happens was a really big part of this session. And then looking at attachment styles based on all that, like secure attachment, that's, over time. It doesn't mean that you had to do it every single time, but the majority of the time, that you were able to meet the need, you know, the child is comfortable with intimacy. Um, the anxious attachment craves intimacy and closeness, but and fears rejection and abandonment. Um, this is the one where it's developed with inconsistent caregiving. So sometimes they were there and sometimes they weren't. Avoidant attachment. So sometimes our caregivers, they provide the food, the housing, the clothing, but are a emotional desert. And it probably has a lot to do with how they were caregived. Um, but what ends up happening is that the child will avoid emotional closeness because they're not getting it, they're not receiving it, so they stop asking for it. And they start to and what was funny, I remember specifically about this, was we started to explore our own attachment style, like where were we based on all of this. And it was interesting to see caregivers go, oh, this is starting to look a lot like me. And there's no judgment, there's no shame. It's just like, if we know, then we know. And if you have, let's say that you're more like hands off and you have a child that no matter how much you try to give, it's never enough. Um, just recognizing where they're coming from and also where you're coming from. And there are ways to build attachment. The last one is, of course, disorganized attachment. Struggles with trust develop from chaotic or abusive caregiving. So, it's difficult to build trust, but it is possible. And so, looking at building attachment and I use with the trust-based relational intervention. I don't know why it says with trusted based. It should be trust-based. Connecting, establishing trust and nurture. It's the foundation. So being consistent and predictable as much as possible, as you can. Being warm, respectful, non-judgmental in your communication, creating a safe, stable environment. Now, I want you to go back, if you can, in your mind to the stress response and remember the picture where it was all really highlighted in the limbic system and in the amygdala and on this part with the brainstem. If you have a kid that's like that, it's going to fight back. They're going to fight back. Their system is going to fight back if it feels different than what they're used to. So it's like, you got to remember that who they are and how they are happened over time and with consistent inconsistency a lot of times. So don't give up after the third try. Like, you have to continue to do that. And I think that's one of the things is it takes time, it takes patience, it takes a lot of love, and it can be difficult, but it is possible. Empowering, meeting the child's physical, emotional, and environmental needs. So ensuring that, of course, the safety, comfort of the basic needs, but also providing nurturing environment. Some of our kids, they crave what they didn't get. So like if you have a kid that wants to sit in your lap and wants to be rocked and you think, oh, they're too old for this. Let them in your lap, let you rock them. You're giving them something that they need. Encourage independence while offering support. So like letting them try. It feels like we're a lot of like independence, but we're interdependent. So like you can, be independent, but no, I got you. I'm here. And I know, like, if I need help, you'll be there for me too. Like, we are interdependent. And then correcting, use compassionate, consistent, and proactive guidance. So just like we're going to be proactive with like our window, making sure we're taken care of, which in TBRI is empowering. We're empowering the body to make better choices, because if they're more regulated, it's a good chance they're not going to. But, we all step in it. So teaching, reinforcing positive behaviors in a supportive way. And then avoiding punitive discipline, focusing on understanding and redirecting. So in TBRI, we talk about redos, compromises, and choices. All of them are ways to be able to build attachment. And if you go back again to that healthy attachment style, whoops, I went back too far. The healthy attachment cycle, anytime that we can fill this need. So in TBRI, we always say, try to say yes more than you say no, fill the need. You're going to be able to build that attachment. Any questions about what I talked about? I know that it's a lot from a training that if you haven't been to it, I highly recommend that you go back.
We have a philosophy in our home: if they can, we don't. So when they want to cut up their food,
Yeah.
we hand them a knife, let them cut up their food. We always remind them that asking for help is not a weakness. We all need help and we all support each other. We're here if you need us or want us to do something. Our
Yeah.
4-year-old sometimes will ask us, "Can you feed me?" Even though she's 4 and she can do it. And we say, "Of course we can," because it is really important that they know it's okay. I can ask for help and somebody will be there. She's now
Yeah.
trying to fasten her own car seat. It's a 5 point, and she gets it about half of the time. She can do it herself. But then she asks for help. And of course, we're right there and we help her. Because that is learning to ask for help is a skill I think that we're losing in our society.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think part of that goes back to that you have to be independent. You have to be independent. It's like we are interdependent. I think we're setting everybody up for, and we're social beings. We need people.
yeah. And
Yeah.
even though we know she can do it, if she's asking us to do it, it's not really about the physical um, act. It's more about that emotional reinforcement. Are you still here for me?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I have had where well, they'll be 19 in November, and sometimes they still ask me to brush their hair. I'm going to do it. That is giving nurture. That is giving care. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I want you to think of a scenario and apply the learning. So how can you build attachment? And maybe, that I've been in situations where they're feeling like they there's a void to the attachment. Um, and then how have you adjusted to the key shifts in your role? And I know, um, you know, Charlie, specifically, if you could talk about the key shifts for folks that are listening that are kinship providers of, um, if you, yeah,
Yeah.
adjusting to the key shifts in your role, that would be
Well,
great.
yeah, I think the biggest one is as a grandparent, and the majority of our kinship families are grandparents. As a grandparent, we're one step removed. We are the ones that come in and do the heavy nurturing, because all of that discipline is on mom and dad. And then when we step up as that primary caregiver, that big switch of I'm not grandma anymore. I'm now the disciplinarian. I'm now the one that has to think long term um, damage that could happen if I don't get this discipline right. Or if I allow things that as a grandmother I can laugh about because mom has to correct. And I now cannot be the one that enjoys that. I'm the one that has to think, is this behavior going to make my child undateable? And that's a big switch to all of a
Yeah.
Hmm.
sudden go from being the fun, the Disneyland um, adult to being the day-to-day disciplinarian. It also changes our relationship with our kids, with the parents of those children that we're now taking care of, because now our focus is not on supporting and loving and uplifting that adult child. Our focus now is on how do we protect and guide that additional generation. And it really does create tension that wasn't there before. And so we're trying to navigate that new relationship, not only with the adult um, family member, but also now with that child family member. And it's tough. And that's why I always encourage you, go to support groups. You're not the first one to navigate this. You're not going to be the last one to navigate this. But don't try to go alone. As you said earlier, we are social creatures. And just being able to say, this is tough today, guys. I'm having this issue. And hearing that somebody else has already walked that path is huge.
Yeah.
But the shift in caregiving roles. is sometimes hard for us to navigate, and we cannot navigate it on our own.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Mhm.
Any other thoughts about this area?
Even even if you have someone close to you, don't no, not all the time can be shared the same burden you have.
Right. Everyone's got different kind of struggles,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
things going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I ask him for help and tell them and don't listen, only tell me you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, but uh, they don't came and help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
Nancy, I hear you loud and clear on that one. Everybody knows how we should be doing it. It would be so much nicer if somebody would step up and help us do it. So I hear you loud and clear, and that's the another advantage of being in support groups, because people there are willing to step up and help you with those navigating those day-to-day stuff. Even when we expect our kids to do it, the other problem that we have is we expect those people around us to know what we need, and we're not always vocal about what we need. And so that's another skill that we as kinship caregivers need to develop, is how do I ask to get my needs met? Because I figured it out. Nobody's a mind reader out there. So
what?
yeah, I know. It was such a shock. But I think that's a skill that we can also work within the group, is how do I ask to get that particular need met? How do I ask my neighbor if she's running to the store, can she pick up X, Y, and Z and bring it home to me? These are things that we never learned how to do. And
Yeah.
I think it's things we all need to know, especially as older caregiver kinship caregivers.
I appreciate you saying that because I actually was going to ask Nancy if she could tell her family what she needed, what would it be?
um, I need a little time alone. I need and sometimes I want to run away, or when I am sick, I need to stay away for. I need time for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Some time ago, I had a surgery, and it was very painful. It still is painful, um, and I want to no don't stay home. I want to go another place, but I need to stay home care my kids.
Yeah.
It, or yeah, this is what more I need. Sometimes I need to go alone, but
Yeah.
one day,
Yeah.
one
Right.
day.
Right now, Faith Hope Foster does a family night out, and they want to get four of them. So every Friday night, right now they have two in the valley that you can drop your kids off for 3 hours and do you. So I'll make sure that Sheila gets that information and can pass it on. But that would be one way to get that need of you having time to yourself. We had one person that dropped her kids off for that 3 hours. They feed them and entertain them, and she went to the parking lot and took a nap. It's what she needed at the time. So
I love it.
yeah, so I will make sure that Sheila has
Yeah.
that information and can pass it along, because you're right, that time alone when you're not a caregiver is so important.
So
Yes,
important.
actually, I was thinking maybe will be good business. I think if somebody put a rest home for caregivers,
Yeah. Yeah.
because if you are in home oh, you need to do dishes, you need to do laundry, you need to cook for the next day, you need the medication, the paperwork. That so I was thinking if I can go on some cabin in the middle of the mountain and alone and had a spot, will be great.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm curious the Parents Unlimited of what resources they might have too, just in terms of in their program for parents. So more to come. I am curious because you can't be the only parent who's experiencing this specifically. And I just know there's lots of resources. We just gotta like figure out which one is a good fit for your needs. But I love that you're sharing it, that you recognize what you need and asking for help and all of that can also be a challenge. So it's a good segue. Thank you very much into the next topic, which is what?
You can take that this thing and
Oh, yes, yes. So we hear all the time, take care of yourself before taking care of others. And I have, mentioned that before, but this is what I typically get back in response. You ready?
Yep.
Right? I always put myself on the back burner. Um, and so I don't have time. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I must just push through. What else have you told yourself or heard others say about prioritizing their self-care? Well, you just mentioned one that's a barrier. You don't have any alone time.
It's selfish.
Oh, it's selfish. Yeah. So we did a whole training on self-care, and I just want to say that self-care can be as simple as some of the things we already talked about. Um, I get what you're saying about that alone time, and that's so important. We're gonna just briefly review some of the things that were brought up, and then we can come up with some more ideas. But really looking back at the point behind taking care of yourself first is that if you don't put the mask on first, you could end up hurting the one you're trying to care for. Because I was like, well, why wouldn't you put the mask on the kid first? Well, while you're trying to do that, you could pass out and then the kid would be all by itself, even if or maybe without the mask. Put the mask on first, then you can help others. It's the same thing. Recognize your own window of tolerance so that you can look at the kid's window of tolerance. Look at your engine plate so that you can then be able to be in a place where then you can help your kid regulate their engine plate. So there is an importance to that. And you can't give from an empty bucket. If you don't take care of yourself, then you can unintentionally cause more harm. So regulate to co-regulate, and regulation equals connection. If you're dysregulated and they're dysregulated, that ends up being eruption and disruption from a relationship.
Yeah.
So
And can I
something.
give you my favorite quote?
Oh, sure.
Katie Reed is my heroine because she says self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you.
Yeah.
Oh, giving the best of you instead of what's left of you. Oh, yes, I love that. So we talked about some different things, and I'll just tell you that I read this book that was so good. And so the training is full of different ideas, but it's called The Age of Overwhelm. How to let me think. Basically, how to stay in it for the long haul. And
Yeah.
for many of us, it's like we have to like. It's not just like it's an everyday thing. So how are we going to get through this? So there were some different practices. So we'll go through these. We'll go through these really quick just to make sure that everybody has these in their toolbox. So in order to maintain balance, we must intentionally be aware of how much we're dealing with externally. So going back to that window of tolerance. Every day, like checking, where am I in my window? If not, then we will become overwhelmed and we'll either flip our lid or we'll shut down. Having a regular dedicated practice of checking in with your window can be a proactive tool to lessen overwhelm. So, and again, our fight, flight, freeze response is something we're meant to call on in rare and brief episodes. The set activation state was never designed to fuel our day-to-day routine. So really being aware of that, and so that we can bring ourselves more. And it's going to take time. It's going to take intentionality. It's going to take practice, but it starts with awareness. Start each day by regulating your breathing and then bringing to your mind one intention for the day. I loved this so much because I don't know about y'all. This would be my routine. You ready? Alarm goes off. Turn it off. Facebook, what's going on in the world? That would be my morning immediately in my face. Now I turn it off and then I take deep breaths and I think about what do I want for my intention for the day. And the first couple weeks, it was just to be present because I was so not present. So think about what you would want and do it in bed before you even get those feet on the floor. Okay? Find 3 things to be grateful for, or think about one person who inspires you while starting your day. So this is the thing about our brains. Whatever fires together, wires together. So if you are intentionally thinking about positive things that you're grateful for, you're going to start to see it, feel it more. If you focus on, it's that goes back to that that negative bias. If you're looking for the negative, what's going wrong, that's what's going to get bigger, and that's what you're going to focus on, and your whole system is going to be focused on. So finding 3 things to be grateful for can change the way that we look at our day, at the world. The pressure we put on ourselves are linked to all the messages we get from society. So taking some of that pressure off of us, because it's not helpful. And so that we need to, and it interferes with our ability to tend to ourselves. So when overloaded, we may disconnect because it is all too much or feels like it is too much. And we often feel numb, and we check out or detach, which impacts our interactions in relationship with others. So noticing that we need community. Like I said before, we are interconnected. We are wired for connection. So, going back to the boundaries, we're always trying to do more, feeling like we have to do more. And no is a complete sentence. We don't have to be everything for everyone. We have to prioritize ourselves. And one of the best ways we can do that is by having some boundaries. And it starts with how we talk to ourselves too. Like, we are doing okay, and okay is enough. Any thoughts about this slide before I move on?
Yeah, my husband constantly reminds me, honey, you need to be okay with good enough. You can't, perfection is your enemy. You have to be okay with good enough.
Yeah, that's tough.
Mhm.
Or when you see people doing things and you think, oh, I should do more. Do you though? Like, maybe it's not your turn. Maybe, we're all in this together and like you can, do what you're doing currently and rest. it's a marathon, like take turns, like you don't have to keep saying yes to everything, especially if you already got your windows like this. Do you really need to add one more thing, or do you spend that time to build your window?
Mm.
Okay, so here's some other things. Exercise. I'm going to say kickboxing. It was not on my notes, but I'm going to say it now because of
Love
Nancy.
it.
Even a brisk walk increases energy levels and boosts serotonin in the brain, which contributes to heightened mental clarity, which will allow you to be more present. Sleep is our superpower. Without sleep, the brain is unable to clear our toxins and clean the fluid and neuron channels at the rate necessary to maintain high functioning day to day activity. Again, I got this from The Age of Overwhelm. Super good book. Sleep can get in our mind and our worries can get in the way of our sleep, though. I am trained in cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, and our brains can be
Mhm.
a barrier to us getting the sleep that we need. So really like taking that time to be present, to notice what we're not only feeding ourselves, because you brought up the what we're eating and the vitamins and things, but also what we're feeding our mind. Nature, here you go. Spending time in nature can have a cleansing effect in the mind. Natural environments have shown to decrease cortisol levels and lower blood pressure. Spending time with animals has been proven to be psychologically stimulating, reducing stress hormones and raising levels of endorphins, which is body's natural painkillers. So even even seeing animals from afar, like yesterday I went on a walk. I go on a walk, it's like my thing now. And I saw a snail. It was a big snail. It was big. And it was in the middle of the sidewalk. It was so hot, you guys. And all I could think of was this poor snail is not going to make it across because how they have a little trail? It was so hot. It only had like a tiny, tiny bit. Normally you see a whole trail. Man, I picked that sucker up and I like went, if anybody saw me, because I was all dressed for work, I'm like under some tree in the shade trying to like save this little snail. And then I checked on it later and it looked so happy. And I was just like, I could tell it boosted my energy and being able to just like be so connected and take that time to. I'm sure the snail appreciated it too. Um, but these are things that we probably don't even like really think about that can really, if we intentionally do it, like I said, it doesn't have to be like a full-on walk. I can just go out, take a deep breath, look at the trees, and then I come back in and I feel like it just gave me just a little bit of a boost in my window.
Mhm.
Um, and it really does make a difference. So, putting it together, based on everything we talked about, what are some things that you can do for yourself? How can you make that one on that? I'm curious if anyone has any tricks when you always have kids around. I would also say pets follow you in the bathroom as well. They don't have any like sense of privacy or anything like that. But what are some tricks that you've done to give yourself just a few moments of peace? And then also, of course, because I know that that's an issue right now with Nancy. I'd like to try to give some relief. But what are some things based on what I shared that
I I take time in the evening after the kids go to bed. That that seems to be a good time. I'm not a great morning person. I can make myself get up in the mornings, but I'm a great night owl. So after the kids go to bed, that hour I'll sit and read or do something that's just for me.
nice?
I like to see the birds and in my garden and take a moment to breathe outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, no, I don't do so much, but I'm tired. And sometimes I try to dance in my with my little one, he who is not verbal, to do something fun because he and me too. I am terrible dancing, but I try to and
Cat.
because my little one can talk, sometimes I talking with him about silly things and make fancy faces.
You know,
So
something you're talking about, Nancy, that I didn't mention and so, so important is having fun with your kids, having fun in life. Like we have so many things that we could worry about that could weigh us down. Every day, there's always something reminding us of why we should be unhappy or upset about something. And the fact is that we can always find joy and fun and light. We sometimes have to create it. And that sounds a beautiful thing. And I think I'd fit right in with your dancing. I always try to bring the robot in wherever I am. I
yeah,
don't know.
we tried something funny. And even my kid don't talk, but sometimes and I say, I know, you want to eat, I know. Don't you need yell at me. Yeah, so uh, I'm tired. I try.
Yeah, I love that. So when you think about self-care, I want you guys to think about three goals that you can try on. Think of all the different things that we talked about, or maybe something that you're already doing that I didn't mention that you want to share. What are what are three things that you can do?
I want I want to be alone on my bike.
Mm.
Yeah.
I got it one bike. I want to do one on my own.
Yeah.
I want to sit down in my garden and breathe. And other thing is dancing more with my child.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, who's next?
Well, I can do more walking uh, with my sticks, you know, because that works like all of my body with
Hmm.
when I do the walking. Um, Dancing with my little one is always a plus because watching her just gets me all goosebumpy. And then spend more time just, you know, being with my husband and talking about the day in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for glimmers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so easy to find all the things that went wrong today. Those are
Yeah.
the easy ones because I think we're negative by nature. Um, but let's look at all the things that went right, you know, and and work on that. I think for me, because sometimes I do find everything that was wrong, and which people I want to slap into yesterday and bring up again.
Nice. Nice, nice.
Yeah. Yes. A challenging to tell with the husband, especially when you need to teach him or after the kids, after you give your time the kids, the home, he expecting you are free and he's very happy for him to
Mm,
service. Oh no, I'm sorry. I can say I need my Tylenol first and my or a wine cup before to do that.
Yeah.
You definitely need some time to focus on yourself and, you know, um, we all have our own needs and as a caregivers specifically, it can feel like you're being pulled all different directions constantly. And we can forget to take care of ourselves, like just like to pause, like you said, in your garden, to take some deep breaths. That's like I can picture it, and it sounds lovely. And it's like your space. You're creating that sacred space just for you there. Um, but yeah, I mean, we have to, I think that's where boundaries come in too.
Okay, ladies, between us, I want to ask you some serious question.
Okay. So we have covered a lot of information today, but you know what? It was a six-part series here, so it makes sense. And what I'd really like now is for you, like reflections of, things that maybe you learned, things you're going to try on, thoughts about next steps that you're going to do, any reflections, good, bad, whatever. And I chose that picture because it's really pretty.
It
Yeah.
is really pretty, And I think this whole experience that we've been in the last, months, several months now, Michelle, has just kind of really opened my eyes to really thinking about how to what kinship families are going through in a different way. I grew up in a kinship family and I've worked with families most of my career, but I just really thinking about in a different way, like how we can connect with different kinds of kinship caregivers, what we can do to really help be part of like creating or being part of a system where kinship caregivers and families in general can just really get the help that they need. I think is just so something that I think about a lot through this. So that's what I've been thinking about in this process.
Thank you.
Well, I learned I'm not crazy at all. So it's
No.
a scientific and experienced people can tell me I am okay.
Yes, you are great.
You are more than okay.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking maybe the menopause, but that's okay.
No.
No, it's nice to know you're not alone in this. A
Mhm.
lot of what you're feeling, and I think that's part of it is just finding your community, getting out there and being able to get that support is going to be so important for you, for everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
I I think for me, the reminder to look for the positive, it was timely. Because there are times when, especially now that I'm a rhino, retired in name only, there are times when I see the downside when I think, why, why keep doing this? And so I think it really was a timely reminder to say, Charlie, look at what all the things that are going right.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening right now. Yeah.
a lot of good stuff. And I would say for a lot of people, that's you, Charlie. You are the light. You are the positive that is happening. So keep shining on for sure.
Mhm.
Well, and I've loved this opportunity, and every time that I've learned something new, and it's just I'm in awe of everyone who is in these roles and what you do, and it's there's so much heart and It's just
Yeah.
it's been really amazing. And I was telling Sheila I would definitely love to do more in the future. It's just
Yeah.
I've just loved it. I've absolutely loved it. I haven't not loved it at all once. So from start to finish. So thank you for that opportunity. Just want to remind everyone, again, this is Nancy, this is what I was talking about, the Resilient Parenting Podcast. That's me and my husband, brought to you by the Idaho Children's Trust Fund. It's a free resource. We have now, I think we have 76 different episodes, and we're continuing on for different topics. But you're giving me another topic that I want to definitely talk about as well. So um, now, if there are no other questions or whatnot, I'm going to pass it on to Sheila.
Yeah.
I,
No. And
I have one really quick. Okay.
May, oh, don't worry about it. You're good.
Yeah. Stephen Curtis Chapman has picked up where I'm sorry, where Karen Purvis left off with doing those annual,
You have, yeah.
yeah. Are we planning anybody, we, Sheila, Michelle, to host one of those podcasts, those 2 day
Are we talking empower to
trainings?
connect? Empower to
Yes.
connect? Okay.
Yeah, because
I do
I'm
not
wondering if we
know.
could do those. I
No.
think it would be great for our community to have that, to have it offered for free where we could do that. And like I said, I know that Stephen Curtis Chapman and his wife have picked up where Karen Purvis and David Cross left off.
Nice. More to come.
Yeah. I guess I've gotten, Charlie, maybe to talk offline a little more about this. I guess I've gotten really used to like some of the bigger churches kind of taking that over the years. Is the church community not kind of grabbing that this year?
I don't know. I last year it was there was one or two places that did it, um, but they wanted to charge.
Oh, it used
Uh,
to be a whole thing. So
yeah,
yeah.
but I just our families can't afford necessarily to
Right.
pay for that. So I was looking at could somebody pick it up with one of the grant funding or whatever and host it for free.
Let's talk offline about that. I don't know the cost of it. I don't know anything. I have thought I don't know what to say to that. So let's come back on that, Charlie. Um, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I thank you for bringing that up. I really mean that. Um, yeah, I'm actually gonna, if I could, Michelle, I think what I'll do is I will switch over to my little slides.
Oh, to your
So
slides?
yeah, if that's okay. I think I just did it. Did it work? I think it did. Are folks seeing my stuff?
You want me
Maybe.
to stop sharing?
Well, I think I just popped over yours. Are you seeing my slides? You're still seeing yours, Michelle? Are
I thought
people
it was
seeing
your
my,
slide.
yeah,
Here,
are you seeing
I'm going to
like, I
stop
just
sharing.
flipped it over. Okay, cool. Are you seeing like the state plan for kinship caregivers, kind of an overview slide thing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Want to make sure you're seeing this. So I'm going to talk really quick, and I will throw the chat, the thing in the chat that I'm talking about right now. So what we are doing at the Idaho Caregiver Alliance is we have really had the opportunity to, well, I'm going to talk about it a little more. So we are in the middle of starting this state plan the state plan for kinship caregivers, and our goal is to really connect the dots for kinship caregivers across the state. So this is something we are very excited about. This is a little more about the Idaho Caregiver Alliance. We've been around since 2012, but our goal is to really share the stories of kinship caregivers across the state. Here's some of our kinship caregivers on our team and kind of adjacent to our team. That's me in 1986 being cared for by a kinship caregiver. There's just a lot of passion and a lot of thought on our team about this. Um, I don't think we need to talk to this group about why this matters to Idaho, but there's a lot of folks in the state that are kinship caregivers. We've been doing all kinds of stuff to get there. And the Senate endorsed the Caregiver Alliance doing a kinship state plan earlier this year. So we are heading forward on a roadmap to really build on Idaho's strengths and improve connections between caregivers and the communities. And something that we found that we're really proud about in the in kind of in the middle of this work, we learned that we are as we were kind of getting this work started, I guess, we learned this will be the first kinship state plan in the nation. So we've got a lot of energy and a lot of people and a lot of stuff around this right now. I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm gonna use my time quickly. So, but yeah, so we have the opportunity to really do a kinship state plan for the state. So we just really want to learn from kinship caregivers. Oh, there's a little typo right there. Better get that fixed. Kinship caregivers across the state. This is kind of our kickoff and everything that's going on right now. We're in this middle of doing a lot of data gathering right now before we finalize the plan. And that's where you come in. We really want to hear from kinship caregivers, professionals, and other folks across the state that are either are kinship caregivers or are working with kinship caregivers. So everybody on this call could take this survey, I think. But yeah, so if you're caring for a child that is not in Idaho, we want to hear from you. Really is that time to share your voice. And just we would love to hear from kinship caregivers. So the QR code is on the screen. And also too, I will put this in the chat. Let me see here really quick. Yeah. So if you hit the little Idaho Caregiver Alliance button, and maybe I'll just do it because we're a tiny little group. Can folks see my Caregiver Alliance? Did it change? Okay, cool. All right. So if you go here, there's a thing on the top that says Help Shape Idaho's Kinship State Plan. You hit it. Oh, I see. I can't do it because I already did it. But usually a thing pops up saying, Give us your name and give us your name and your zip code, and they'll send you the survey immediately." So it's just a little auto send. So everybody will get that kinship survey immediately. So yeah. So pretty cool. So really excited about it. So I'm gonna make everyone car sick. So yeah, so you just hit that, and we just had to change this website around because we had some problems with it at the end of the week. So yeah, so if you can sign up, take the survey, you put your email in there, we'll send you the survey. It will send you a link to the survey, and you can take the survey whenever it's convenient for you. Yeah, so we are really excited about this. But yeah, we had a bunch of bots on the survey show up at the end of the week, so we had to like reform our survey. So now it thinks I'm a bot 'cause I'm hitting the link more than once. I just realized that. So we'll have to figure that out. So anyway, so the survey is open through September 13th, 2026. Kinship caregivers who take it do get a gift card as a thank you. Um, yeah, or if you're working with kinship caregivers, we want to hear from those folks as well. But yeah, so the state of Idaho will have a kinship state plan in spring of 2027. So really excited to be a part of it. So we really encourage anybody on this call or anybody at all to really just go ahead to take that kinship state plan survey. We just really want to hear from folks. So I think I just threw it in the chat. I did. Yeah, let's go Idaho Caregiver Alliance, do the deal. And yeah, the more voices we hear, the stronger that state plan is going to be. So we really hope folks will take that survey and help spread the word. Any questions about this or anything coming up for folks that they wanted to hear about?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's kind of the quick and dirty. We're very lucky to have nice supporter on this, but at the end of the day, we hope folks will take that kinship state plan survey and it will be released in spring 2027. So, and everybody that's been in this group has been a part of this. And so, thank you so much. It's just been a really wonderful experience. So, looking forward to getting it started.
Well, I always love when we can hear from folks who are with real life experience, being able to
Yeah,
share the information. So it really does help,
it's a
decision
time.
making.
Yep. So we'll have a plan for yep, pretty cool. So we're very excited about it. So yeah, please, if you have the opportunity to take that kinship state plan survey, we would love it. So,
I just
um,
asked for it to be sent to me.
wonderful. So it should already be in your email, Charlie, hopefully.
I
So
know, but I haven't been on my
that's
email
fine.
for
We
a couple
had
of
to
days.
do, and so I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording and just so we can, yeah.
I
Or is
just
there anything
wanted to
else you want to share? Yeah.
one more thing.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, go ahead. So that's the kinship state plan? Oh yeah, thank you.
Just one more thing, just for today's session, if you could click on this and give us, fill out the short survey. And I would say along with that is that, and I don't know what the plan is moving forward, Sheila, but I do know that we were in discussions of like, what's times, days, what works
You
best
need, we
for
need to send out a
schedules.
better, yeah.
And maybe that's another survey later, but yeah, any feedback would be helpful for moving forward. But yeah, I know this is for today's session, but I also, if you have been to other sessions and you want to complete, just your feedback is very important. So
Yes.
just wanted to, did everybody get that before I stop sharing?
We're good? Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So
Oh.
anything else, Sheila, before we go?
No, thank you so much to everybody who's been a part of the experience. We've really appreciated it. And yeah, just
More
saying
to
we was
come.
really, if I was smart, I'd probably call in a thank a kinship caregiver every single day because you're just doing so much in our communities. Kinship caregivers just really build just some of the great, this is the best folks in our community are kinship caregivers. So we just really think just really want to honor the work of kinship caregivers and everything that's happening right now. It just means so
Yeah.
much. So thank you.
Yeah. And Nancy, we need to get you connected.
Yeah, well, I'll send a follow-up email for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay.
also, if you could send Nancy like the wardrobe information because she
Yeah.
can get free clothing for her kiddos. Um, also there, I mean, there's just so much out there. The free clothing helps. If you're not spending a budget on clothing, you can spend it on something else.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you guys enjoy. I don't know if you're soccer players or watching the games this weekend, but I am now.
You're all in.
All
I'm
right.
all in. I'm all in, and still don't know what I just know when it's goal. Other than that, I'm just like I just watch body language. But
Yeah.
all right, you guys take care and take care of yourselves. There's only one of you.
You
Okay.
too. And thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sheila.